differences between internal check and internal audit, and vouching and verification. We're gonna discuss these two differences. First, internal check and internal audit. Internal check is not a specific check, but the duties of different person are so arranged that a person's work is automatically checked by the another person while carrying out the normal course of duty. Internal check, it is not a specific check, but the duties of different persons are arranged that a person's work is automatically checked by another person in normal course of business or duty. In case of internal audit is specifically done to check that the account are properly maintained and the systems are controlled. Internal audit is specifically done to check the account, to check that the account are properly maintained and systems are in control. Internal check internal check does not internal check does the preventive job. That is, internal check is derived so that fraud and error are prevented. Internal check does the preventive job. That is, internal check is done so that fraud and error are prevented, while internal audit does the detective job of identifying the fraud and error in rectifying them. Internal audit does the detective job of the identifying the fraud and error and rectifying them. It is more of the process in day-to-day functioning of the business. Internal check is done in the process of daily basis in functioning of the business, while internal audit, it is specific defined job. In internal check, all the persons in the organization are involved to maintain the internal control or internal check systems. All the persons in the organizations are involved to maintain the internal check systems, while specific persons are appointed to the internal audit. Likewise, internal audit committee. In internal check, it is required in all organizations, informal or informal way. In internal audit, carrying out internal audit is not compulsory, but it is done based on the management decision. Internal audit is not compulsory to be carried out, but it is done on the management judgment, management decision. It does not include the internal audit. Internal check does not include the internal audit, but internal audit includes the internal check. So this is the differences. Let's have a quick revision. Internal check means it's not a specific check, but the duties of one person is automatically checked by the another person. Internal audit, it checks the account that are properly maintained and the systems are in control. It is preventive job. It is detective job. It is done in day-to-day functioning of the business, and it is specific defined job. All the person of the organizations are involved to maintain the internal check, while specific person are appointed in internal audit. It is required in all organizations in formal and informal way. Carrying out it is not a compulsory, but it is done based on the management decision. Internal check, it does not include the internal audit, while internal audit includes the internal check. Now, vouching and verification. What is the differences between vouching and verification? Vouching means it is the act of examining the vouchers. Is vouching. Examining the vouchers are vouching bills. Like, a voucher is any documentary evidence in the support of transactions entered in the books of account. It is the support in evidence of the transactions entered in the books of account. Vouching are done especially for income, profit loss account items, while verification is done on the balance sheet items. Verification can be explained as establishing the truth and securing some kind of confirmation with respect to assets and liability appearing the balance sheet of concern. Nature and purpose. Vouching involves establishing the mathematical accuracy and authenticity of the transactions of concern. Vouching proves that the asset ought to exist. Verification goes beyond the vouching. It seeks to establish that assets as stated in the balance sheet of the concern exist in the fact and that the liabilities are properly disclosed. Verification does not proves that the asset does exist. It is done during the whole year. Verification is during the vouching is done during the whole year, while verification it is done during the end of the year or balance sheet date. It certifies the correctness of the record, while it certifies the correctness of assets and liabilities. It is done by the junior staffs of the auditor under supervision of senior person. It is done by the auditor himself as assisted by the seniors. Thank you.